A map of South Africa is a promise of long roads, big skies, and endless adventure. The idea of a road trip started as a whisper, but soon it was a call I couldn't ignore. To drive from the dusty borderlands to the cool, salty beaches, this was more than a trip, it was a journey into the heart of a country. The real magic isn't just in the destinations, but in the spaces between, the changing landscapes, the small towns, the unexpected moments. Each kilometer brings a new story, each stop a new connection. The car becomes your home, the world outside your ever-changing garden. There's a thrill in the unknown. Plans can change, and the best moments are often surprises. This journey was about collecting those moments, letting the road guide me. I wanted to feel the pulse of the country, meet its people, taste its food, and hear its music. On a road trip, you're not just a tourist. You move with the rhythm of the land. The journey from border to beach became a journey into myself as much as across South Africa. The journey began at Beitbridge, the border with Zimbabwe, where the Limpopo River marks an ancient line. Crossing into South Africa, the road stretched south, a black ribbon through red land dotted with baobab trees. Limpopo is a land of myth, home to the Venda people and their sacred stories. In a village I bought sweet mangoes from a smiling woman, a simple, important connection. The Soutpansberg Mountains rose blue in the distance, the road winding through valleys and game reserves. As the sun set, baobabs became silhouettes against a canvas of orange and purple. That night, I found a guest house welcomed by stories and the sounds of the African bush. The north welcomed me with its raw, honest beauty. The adventure had truly begun. Leaving the Bushveld behind, the road led to Johannesburg, a city that rises from the Highveld like a promise of energy and ambition. Jozi is built on gold, its mine dumps and skyscrapers side by side. A city of contrasts. I spent a day in Soweto walking Vilakazi Street where Mandela and Tutu once lived. The weight of history is tangible here. Resistance and hope echo in every corner. In the Maboneng precinct, street art and music pulse with the city's creative spirit. I tasted food from across Africa, the flavors bold, the atmosphere joyful. Johannesburg is not just a city, it's an African metropolis, always changing, always moving. It can be intimidating, but look closer and you'll find its warm heart. The city is a lesson in modern South Africa, full of challenges but brimming with optimism. After a few days I was ready for the road again, the mountains and sea were calling. Johannesburg was the powerful, beating heart of the nation. Its rhythm stayed with me as I drove south. The city's energy was unforgettable. The journey pressed on, the landscape shifting once more. The open road beckoned, promising new stories ahead. South from Johannesburg, the land descends and the Drakensberg Mountains rise, a jagged wall on the horizon. The Zulu call them Ukalamba, the barrier of spears. Their peaks are sharp, their presence commanding. This is a paradise for hikers and dreamers, a World Heritage Site of natural and cultural wonder. I explored winding passes, watched waterfalls tumble and hiked to ancient sandrock art, windows into a world thousands of years old. The mountain's scale brings peace and perspective, worries shrink beneath their shadow. One evening a thunderstorm rolled in, lightning illuminating the peaks, thunder echoing through the valleys. I watched from my cottage porch, awed by nature's power. The Drakensberg is wild, unscripted magic, a spiritual encounter with the earth's raw beauty. Leaving was hard, the mountains invite you to linger, to explore just one more trail. But the coast was calling and the road pressed on. The peaks faded in my rear view, but their memory stayed vivid. The Drakensberg was more than a place, it was an experience. I crossed the barrier of spears, the sea drawing ever closer. The journey's next chapter awaited. The mountains had left their mark. The road led into the Eastern Cape, a province of rolling green hills, deep valleys, and a history both proud and painful. This is Mandela's birthplace, where the wild coast's rugged cliffs meet the Indian Ocean. In Kunu, I stood where Mandela herded cattle as a boy, feeling the weight of his story. The Eastern Cape is full of such stories, of Xhosa resilience, colonial battles, and enduring culture. I stayed in a community guest house, welcomed like family, sharing traditional food and songs. The true wealth here is the people, their warmth and strength in the face of hardship. The wild coast's roads are rough, but the rewards are immense. Hidden beaches, dolphins in the surf, the famous hole in the wall. This is not the easiest part of South Africa to travel, but perhaps the most rewarding. The landscape is untamed, the history complex, the culture vibrant. The Eastern Cape gets under your skin, leaving a deep sense of connection. It's a place where the past and present meet in every view. The journey here is an adventure in itself. The Wild Coast's beauty is raw and unforgettable. The province's spirit lingers long after you leave. The road continued, each mile richer for the stories gathered. The Eastern Cape's echoes stayed with me. After the Wild Coast, the garden route feels like a different world. Lush forests, sparkling lagoons, and perfect beaches. The N2 highway winds through this paradise, where nature is both beautiful and accessible. In Tsitsikamma National Park, ancient forests meet the sea. I crossed the Storms River Suspension Bridge, the river's dark waters merging with the ocean. Hiking among giant yellow woods, the air was cool and alive with birdsong. In Knysna, I took a boat through the heads, tasting fresh oysters on the waterfront. The garden route is a feast for the senses, whale watching, caves, even bungee jumping for the brave. I chose to savor the drive, stopping at farm stalls, walking quiet beaches, soaking in the scenery. The contrast with the wilder parts of the country is striking, but the beauty is undeniable. The garden route is South Africa's masterpiece, diverse, inviting, unforgettable. Each stop offered a new adventure, each view a new delight. The final destination, Cape Town, was now within reach. The journey's end was near, but the road still had wonders to share. The garden route's magic was a highlight of the trip. Nature's artistry was on full display, the coast beckoned, promising a grand finale. The adventure pressed on. The final stretch is one of the world's most beautiful drives, through the Overberg's golden fields, until Table Mountain appears, flat and majestic. Cape Town lies in its shadow, a city where mountain meets sea, history meets modern life. The Bocap's colorful houses and Robben Island's somber legacy tell stories of struggle and triumph. I took the cable car up Table Mountain, views of city, harbor and ocean stretching to the horizon. Along Chapman's Peak Drive, cliffs drop to the sea, each turn revealing breathtaking vistas. At Boulder's Beach, African penguins waddle along the sand, a joyful sight. The journey from border to beach was complete. I had arrived. At Cape Point, where oceans meet, I stood at the continent's edge, wind and waves crashing below. It felt like the end of the world, and a new beginning. Cape Town's beauty and spirit embraced me. The road trip was over, but the memories would last forever. This city was the perfect end to an epic journey. The adventure had come full circle. The landscapes, the people, the stories, all converged here. The journey's purpose was clear: discovery, connection, transformation. Cape Town was both a destination and a reward. The open road had delivered its promise. Though Cape Town felt like the end, the road called for one last detour, north to the west coast. Here the land is harsh and arid, the Atlantic cold and wild. Fishing villages like Paternoster offer timeless charm. Life moves with the tides. I ate fresh crayfish in Langebaan, the taste of the sea in every bite. In spring the dry fields explode with wildflowers, a riot of color after the rains. Driving through the West Coast National Park during flower season is unforgettable. This region is about subtle beauty and quiet moments, sunsets over the ocean, wind and waves as your soundtrack. The West Coast isn't about big attractions, but about peace and reflection. It's a reminder that even in harsh places, beauty flourishes. The journey's final chapter was a meditation on simplicity and renewal. The Wild Coast offered closure and calm. The diversity of South Africa was on full display. The road from border to beach ended here, in peace. The West Coast's wildness was the perfect epilogue. The adventure was complete. A long road trip changes you. It's not just about the places, but the person you become. The journey from border to beach was a passage through history, culture, and nature, and into myself. The car was parked, but the journey continued within. Memories of faces, flavors, and landscapes became part of my story. I learned about resilience in Soweto, tradition in the Eastern Cape, and hope in the wildflowers of the West Coast. South Africa's spirit is strong and hopeful, its beauty found in unexpected places. Travel teaches you to value human connection, to see the world anew. A road trip immerses you. You feel the bumps, breathe the air, meet people on their terms. This journey was an education of the heart, more profound than any book. I urge you, find a road that calls to you, pack a bag and drive. Let the journey unfold, be open to the unexpected, talk to strangers, get a little lost. You'll discover the world's beauty, and your own. The road is a promise of discovery and transformation. My journey from border to beach was over, but the road goes on, in memory and in the desire for the next adventure. The open road is always waiting. Every journey changes you, the adventure never truly ends. The road's end is just the beginning of a new story.